to see you, Falcons fans. Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Moustakas. You can call me Moose. On today's episode, we're going to go over the official winners and losers for the first preseason game against the Detroit Lions, where the Falcons fell 17-10, albeit there were no fourth quarter plays really outside of like the first minute because of the Maurice Norris injury. Speaking of which, we've got good news. He is fine. He's doing well. This is from his Instagram page where he said, "Amen, amen, I'm all good, man. Don't stress. I appreciate all the check-ins and the love," which is a great thing to see. He's regained almost all of his movement, I've heard. And, this is one of those things where a great deal of sportsmanship was showed on Friday night. Much love to the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions, but Maurice Norris seems to be all good. And by the way, speaking of our watch party, we're going to go live again this Friday night for the next preseason game against the Tennessee Titans. So if you want to join us for more watch parties and you want daily coverage for your favorite football team, make sure you hit that subscribe button right and now, let's go over the winners and losers. Now, I do want to preface this by saying there are a lot of players that I could have put on this list. I'm going to have 5 official ones and then some honorable mentions as well. The first winner, Dylan Drummond, who was really kind of a lone bright spot for the Falcons wide receiver room for the second and third string offense. He was outstanding. Finished the game with 8 receptions for 63 yards and a long of 25. That 25-yard gain was a flood route over the middle of the field. Might have been a dig route, too. I'm not entirely sure. But he found open spacing in zone coverage and was just pitch and catch, smooth sailing, avoided some tackles, got out of bounds with ease, and really understood where his positioning was on the field. So he had an excellent job of showcasing his ability, not only over the middle of the field, but out in the flat as well. So if I had to give my overall thoughts and takeaways from Dylan Drummond's performance, he showed an ability to create open space off the line of scrimmage and showed his reliable hands. I thought he played exceptional. It was a very, very good first preseason game for Dylan Drummond. So I've got to put him in the winners category because, the Falcons offense was, granted we're not playing the starters, so it was a pretty big bright spot for this second and third string wide receiver room. And that leads me into my first question for you. Will Dylan Drummond make the 53-man roster? The last couple of seasons, he spent time with the New York Giants on their practice squad and the Detroit Lions on their practice squad as well. So my question to you is, will he make the 53-man roster? Let me know in the comment section down below, yes or no. My first loser is Dee Alford. And he did have a fumble recovery, which is good, but then he got cooked on a play against Isaac Tesla, the rookie out of Arkansas. He had no tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and then, like I said, ended up getting cooked. So basically what happened on that route was there was almost a pick play where he got bumped, and Tesla found outside coverage, and this is the screenshot of what it looked like in the end zone. It's a beautiful fade route by Tesla, and Kyle Allen threw it up, put it right where Tesla, the bigger player, went up and got it, and boom, end of story. 6 points on the board for the Detroit Lions. Alford did get bumped on an inside fake, but then lost his leverage on the outside. As a veteran corner, you have to be able to identify when a pick play is coming, and he didn't do it correctly. So even though he got bumped, and it looked like it was right off the line of scrimmage, so a completely legal hit, you've got to be able to flip your hips and get outside as quick as possible because you're sitting in zone coverage. You've got to be able to identify when Tesla is going to go up to the outside, and he just didn't do it fast enough. So that's why Dee Alford ends up first on my losers list, because it's against a rookie. You could have had the outside leverage. You didn't get there, and, it happened the way it happened. Alford got cooked, and that's the way it works. I also want to put him on the losers list because the likes of Billy Bowman Jr., who might be battling to take his position, played pretty well in his first game. One of his tackles came on special teams at a punt return, and he made a from the behind tackle. It was really, really impressive. He showcased his speed, his athleticism, his versatility. I think Billy Bowman could have a real shot of taking over Dee Alford's position. Maybe not week 1, but at some point during the 2025 season. I would not be surprised whatsoever. Now we're going to get into more winners and losers coming up here in just a little bit. But my friends, in case you weren't able to win that Michael Penix Jr. jersey, which we did give away to our friend Pegleg, shout out to him. Michael Penix jerseys, actually not jerseys, jerseys are currently on sale. All you have to do is go to chatsports.com/MPJ shirt. Once you do that, you can start shopping the very best Atlanta Falcons gear for your 2025 season. Real Falcons fans will rise up and use that link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video to start shopping today. Our next winner, Chris Blair. And I feel like you have to put him in this list because, one, he caught the lone touchdown pass for the Atlanta Falcons, so you got to put him on for that one. And also, his ability to get it done in the 2-minute drill alongside Easton Stick, who was throwing to him, was sensational. So that's why I put him in the winners category. He excelled in the Falcons' 2-minute drill, which is what you definitely want to see from younger players. The ability to understand the play calling as it's coming out quicker, no huddle, and to get to the line of scrimmage, still execute your route to perfection. And he also had a fade ball to the back of the end zone where Stick put it on him, and it looked sensational. It wasn't nearly as busted coverage as what Dee Alford had with Isaac Tesla, but it was a one-on-one matchup. Chris Blair just kind of did a double fake, went to the outside, boom, easy money, 6 points, put it right in the breadbasket. It was a gorgeous thing to see. So Chris Blair definitely finds his way onto this list for the winners in the Falcons' first preseason game. I'm not going to go to another loser quite yet. I'm going to go with another winner. And the reason I say that is because you got to put Demarcco Hellams on this list. After his injury last year, a lot of fans were thinking, what's he going to look like when he comes back? And boy, was he a hard-hitting MFer, dude. It was really cool to see. One specific play where he actually got a penalty thrown on him for unsportsmanlike conduct, I believe, or unnecessary roughness, one of the two, where all he did was lower his shoulder into the Detroit Lions. I think it was a tight end or maybe it was a wide receiver, one of the two. And they got him because they said it looked dangerous. Like, come on, man. It was a perfectly legal hit. He lowered his shoulder right into the chest of the Detroit Lions offensive player, knocked the ball away, and the place went nuts. The Falcons sideline went nuts. He got up. He had this unbelievable energy about him. It was a great play. He laid down the lumber early, and that wasn't his only big hit. He had a couple of other really big hits. Only ended up with 3 tackles on the night. But, man, was it really fun to watch him get out there and make momentum happen. And that's why I want to ask you a very quick question. Will Demarcco Hellams have a bounce-back year in 2025? It's almost like guaranteed, unless he gets, knock on wood, hurt again. But I don't think that's going to happen. So type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm putting my yes in there, but let me know, like I said, in the comment section down below. And, of course, defend your answer if you think no. Our last loser, only 2 really kind of losers that I have on this list. Jack Nelson, the 7th-round pick out of Wisconsin, the right tackle behind Caleb McGarry. He had a bad penalty really early on, and he struggled to create opportunities for Nathan Carter and Elijah Dotson. Did not do his job nearly well enough to create outside scheme run holes for the Falcons running backs, which, by the way, did not really do much the entirety of the night. It was kind of like a weaker spot for the Falcons offense. Granted, it's 4th, 5th, and 6th string running back, so what were you really expecting? But Nelson has the opportunity to be the backup to Caleb McGarry, and I think the rookie growing pains were on full display. Remember, it's preseason. I don't think I have to really say this, or maybe I do. This is to be expected. You're not going to be perfectly cohesive in every single unit of your team, and if you are, you're probably going up against 2nd and 3rd stringers yourself, and then, it's not really a great takeaway. But Jack Nelson did, kind of pick it up a little bit to where he allowed more time for Easton Stick and Emory Jones in the pocket, which was nice to see. But for the majority of the nights, Jack Nelson kind of struggled to create opportunities, especially in the run game. So that's why he is on the loser list. You can't have this list, which only consisted of 5 guys, without mentioning Josh Woods. He was outstanding. Led the team in tackles, forced a fumble, and had a tackle for loss. He was really, really laying the boom and should definitely carve himself out a bigger role in this 2025 Falcons defense. And then I noticed there was a lot of people that were giving me a bunch of grief in the comment section down below about James Pearce Jr. And I kind of want to address this really quick because I went back and I rewatched the tape, and I'm man enough to admit that there were some things that I might have been a little too harsh on. But the overarching theme for what I think I said remains true. So let's go back and look at the tape real quick. Here's one of the highlights that I put out from James Pearce Jr. against the Lions. If you notice something, he's getting double teamed. And this didn't just happen once. This happened a couple of times. So clearly his presence in the box score, and statistically speaking, wasn't necessarily what you wanted to see. He didn't record a single tackle. However, I do want to mention that he had 3 pressures, which tied the team lead. But the Lions chipped him all night with a tight end. And then they shifted a right guard on him to kind of double up. So what they basically were telling you was, we do not want this guy anywhere near our quarterbacks. And that's fine. That's a good, offensive game plan to have against a very talented rookie edge. But I want to call him the quiet disruptor of this last game. If teams apply this strategy all season, other Falcons pass rushers will absolutely feast. Arnold Ebiketie got in on it. Khalid Kareem got in on it. Brandon Dorless had a sack. So you can clearly see that even in the first preseason game, James Pearce Jr. was setting up other opportunities to assist his other pass rushers to get in and make things happen. And eventually, you can't always double team him, because if the likes of Arnold Ebiketie or Jalen Walker end up eating, then you got to shift over to them and shift the focus over towards them. So it all makes sense from a standpoint of, like, did he do well in a statistical category? No. Did he make his presence felt? Yes. So there's a nice, healthy balance. But remember, you don't pay players to get pressures. You pay them to get sacks and to fill up the stat sheet. That's part of why players get paid, is because they have to put up great individual statistics. So I might have been a little too harsh, but I also think that finding ways to scheme him will be priority number 1 for Raheem Morris coming up here in this next Falcons preseason game. Overall takeaways: the defense showed a renewed energy and aggressiveness, which I loved. This should be a theme moving forward this season. I think if you could take away anything from the Falcons offense, is that you're not seeing any first-teamers play, so there's not a bunch to take away from it other than maybe a nice couple of individual performances from 4th and 5th string wide receivers. But for the most part, this defense really showed me a renewed energy and aggressiveness, and I love to see it. If you want more Falcons watch parties and more daily coverage, a quick reminder to you to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. It'll never charge you a single thing. And by the way, I did get a bunch of questions in our last watch party. If I am going to be taking over the Falcons channel for at least this season, I will be taking over the duration of the channel. So a reminder, if you haven't already, like the video, and as always, be cool.